What are you feeling right now? Why did you click on this video? Were you curious? Were you angry? Is like, he's wrong? It's a pretty big statement I made to say that positive thinking is wrong. See, and whether you stay watching this video is going to be determined by a feeling, not a thought. See, that's the whole reason you clicked on this video, is when you read the title, you felt something. And that generated a thought, and then you decided, I'm going to check it out. And whether you stay the rest of the video or not, the same thing is going to happen to you. It's all going to be determined by a feeling. Whether you like the way I look, the way I sound, whatever you hear, you're going to have an emotional reaction. And that's going to drive your decision. And that's why if you're trying to think positive, you're limiting your potential in business and every area of your life. So I urge you, stick with me till the end. Fight whatever negative feelings come up and stick with the end, because this is really going to help you discover what's limiting you in your career, in your family life, with your kids, with your spouse, everything. It's all predicated on what we feel. And let me prove it to you. See, the way our brain works is every bit of information we take in, what we see, smell, touch, taste, hear, all of it, it comes through a part of our brain called our thalamus. Then it bounces off of a couple of other places, but the thalamus is the emotional center of our brain. What that means is when we take in information, we have a feeling before it ever gets to cognition. And see, that's why positive thinking doesn't work, because your feelings are based on past experiences. So right now, the way you're interpreting me is all being cataloged by your childhood, your friends, your family, all of these previous experiences. It has nothing to do with thought. It has to do with emotional memories and how you chose to interpret those emotional memories, okay? The second thing to prove the point is how our brain formed. Our brain formed in 3 sections. First was intuition, then emotion, then cognition. Okay, so the least developed is our cognition. The most important are the first 2. That's how we survived, was the first 2. See, cognition is what's getting in all of our way. Is we now have a society that doesn't want to talk about anything emotion-based. We've done that for centuries. We try and stay away from it. Cognition is taking us away from the essence of who we are. Here's the next bit of proof. 87.6% of the people on this planet are unhappy. Think of that. Think of that. Happiness is a feeling, yet we're trying to think positive. The solution isn't in our thoughts, it's in our feelings. It's in those stored emotional memories that are generating the thoughts that come out of it, the interpretations that come out of it. If we don't address that, trying to think positive doesn't work. Here's even more proof. You tell a depressed patient to think positive. Their depression skyrockets because it's a feeling problem. It's not a thinking problem. The other thing to recognize is that the adverse childhood experience study, it's a landmark study, it's been replicated all throughout the world. It shows that all of us have been through less than perfect parenting. We've all had adverse experiences in childhood. Well, those adverse experiences are affecting our feelings and our thoughts. More proof. Look at a child. When a baby is born, they smile 400 times a day. As an adult, we smile 20. That's not a thinking problem. That's a feeling problem. So why are our feelings out of whack? Well, less than perfect parenting, life experiences. We don't teach about feelings. We try and make everything about thought. And so we're not addressing the core solution. Now, even more proof. Every executive does this. I don't talk about feelings. I don't deal with feelings. When I go into the boardroom, when I handle business, I leave the feelings on the side. Well, it's not even possible, as we just talked about how the brain works. You can't do it. But listen to any executive, listen to anybody in crunch time. What have they relied on? Remember Sully, the airplane pilot who landed the plane, I think it was the Potomac River. Remember, the plane was crash landing on the river and saved hundreds of people's lives. He was an expert in airline safety, expert in crash landings, all of that. He had a separate company. He was the industry expert and would teach people all of this. Well, if you watch his movie and the account he gave, he abandoned all cognition, because cognition, all of his training told him that what he should do is go to a certain airport. But he had a feeling. Nope, I gotta land it in the river. Well, afterwards, they'd found out, they did simulations. Had he gone to the airport, everyone would have died. But his feeling, his intuition and his feeling, the essence of who we are, drove his decision. He went back, removed all of the pain and imperfections of his life, and was able to tap in to the authentic feelings, the guiding system we all have within us, and save not only his life, but hundreds of people in the process. So the question becomes, what do we do about it? Well, the key is you have to become an expert in what you feel. If you want, think of it. If your marriage isn't working and you want a better marriage, you want more wealth, your career, you're pursuing, you're an entrepreneur and going after something, and you're ignoring the single greatest asset we need to succeed, our feelings. It drives everything we do. And if we're ignoring that, we're robbing ourselves of the potential that we're all destined for. That's what's getting in our way. So we have to first, now when you hear that, the feeling is, oh my God, I got to go deal with feelings that were hurtful, feelings that were painful. Right there, that feeling is jumping up and biting you, and no amount of positive talk will change that feeling. It has to be gone back and reworked, reoriented. We have to heal that and do the work on it. So here's a couple of quick tips to get that process started. Go on to Google, type in feelings list. Keep track. Just print there's thousands of them. Print one off that works for you and start tracking your feelings just the rest of the day. Convince yourself. Watch. You're going to see, oh my God, every decision I made today was based on what I feel. Now, when you go home, watch what happens. Why do you reach for that glass of wine? Why do you reach for that TV? Why do you reach for that food? What are you feeling? Something probably hurtful. You're overwhelmed with feelings. You don't know how to process it. And that's leading to behaviors that are robbing you of your potential. So picture it. Picture what it would be like to have the ability to navigate those feelings so that your thoughts, the cognitive part of your brain, could do what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be a support system, not the driver. That's why it formed last. We're supposed to be driven by our intellect or intuition and emotion. And when we become an expert in our feelings and we go back and look at these things, then we use our cognition to help us dig that stuff out, reorient it. That's how the process is meant to work. But this industry and this information we've been sent that we need to think, is robbing all of us of our greatest skill set, our greatest potential. So I encourage you, give it a shot. Pay attention to what you feel. Look at how your life changes as you become a master in it. Now, if you discover some aspects that are too big for you, or you don't know how to navigate, or maybe you already know. Maybe you know there are feelings that are robbing you of your potential, but you don't know where to start. Well, send me an email. I'll be happy to point you in the right direction. I'd be happy to. That's what I do. I help people get to the source, the real source of what's keeping them from their potential. And it's always feeling-based. It's not thought-based. When you put those two together, you have the ability to achieve all of your dreams in every area of your life. So I hope that helps you.